All right, it was during the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams game yesterday that Troy Aikman and Joe Buck revealed that John Schneider could be leaving the Seattle Seahawks basically after their playoff game and they lost yesterday, and that he wants total control of the franchise. So let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. And, I guess him and Pete Carroll got say-so as far as personnel moves. And I guess him and Pete Carroll got some different philosophies or they grown apart. And they've been successful. But the issue with the Seahawks is they don't believe in premier offensive linemen and they don't believe in premier defensive linemen, especially since Cliff Averill, Frank Clark, and guys like that, Bruce Irvin left. And you just look at the Seattle Seahawks, they built the wrong way. They built from the back end to the front, and they built from the skill positions to the interior positions. That's not good. All right, instead of them finding an interior lineman to handle Aaron Donald, and that's what you do. I remember for years we had Calvin Johnson in Detroit, so teams would draft big physical corners or get them like Charles Tillman, Xavier Howard when he was with the Vikings. They would go out there and get physical and big corners to deal with Calvin Johnson. And that's what you do when you have division rivals. You know, whether you see them 2 times a year or you see them a third time a year in the playoffs, what you do is you get players that can defend their best offensive players or that can, tear them up. And the Seahawks haven't invested into the line at all. Tight ends, interior linemen, tackles. They got to find interior linemen that can handle Aaron Donald. And that's what the Colts did. They went out there and they got one of the best tackles. One of the best interior linemen. I forget the dude's name, but he nasty. It's just forgetting my mind. So you got to go out there and get big, nasty tackles and guards. And that's what they need, And also, the offensive coordinator was terrible last night. He would refuse to run the ball. And that's what they should have done. They ran the ball good off tackle. And even when Aaron Donald went out the game, even though he was down, refused to run the ball. So what they're going to have to do is get better linemen, And that's what the Great Wall is about in Dallas. It's about handling, the Reggie Whites and the John Randalls of the world and the great interior linemen of the league in those years, and containing guys like Lawrence Taylor that was going to come into the league and be just like him. So that's what it was about. And the Seahawks have not done a great job in building a football team the right way. They believe in building from the secondary to the front end. They believe on offense for building from the skill positions to the interior linemen, and that's not how you build a football team. In building a football team, it's a simple formula, man. You build both lines of scrimmage. You have a great run game, find you a capable quarterback, and build a great defense. But, maybe John Schneider is just tired of working with Pete Carroll, and people grow apart. Even friend relationships, mother-father relationships, brother-sister. Some people just grow apart, all right? And maybe he just want to get rid of Pete Carroll. Now, I think he got one more year on his contract now. Can he quit and take another job? Probably so, if it's not in his contract. But to be honest, I think he a good GM. I think he want to do stuff his way. I think he want to plant his own seeds. And for the Lions to pursue him is smart. Somebody that's done the job before. Somebody's had done a great job in drafting guys in the middle rounds. They draft Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner, Bobby Wagner in the second round. So they've done great post first round. Now, as far as Russell Wilson is another one, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Now, as far as their first round picks, they've been successful, so they haven't really had the criminal first round picks. But then again, there's still guys like Landon Collins that go in the second round, Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry. So they ain't historically done a great job in the first round, but they done great late in the first round. And, for him to have total control of a team is his aspirations. How can you knock somebody who want to do it their way and don't want to have the cosign of Pete Carroll or anybody else? You can't blame them, and what they going to do, get rid of Pete Carroll? No, they just signed Pete Carroll to a big-ass extension, so getting rid of Pete Carroll ain't really an option. And maybe Pete Carroll will be able to hire another GM to work with, but, where else can he go? You hear that Urban Meyer is assembling the staff to take the Jacksonville Jaguar squad. He said full control. I don't think the Chargers got rid of their GM, all right? Maybe he go to Denver. They just got rid of their GM, but do we want to keep Vic Fangio for a year? You just got to look at the openings. And, they didn't fire Dave Gettleman in New York. They didn't fire the general manager with the Jets. So, really, his options are really slim to none. if he wants to total control and really build this whole thing, and the Lions, they can't hire a coach. And then, why the fuck would you even hold interviews? You can't draft a head coach and get a guy from Pittsburgh like what's his name, Kevin Colbert or a guy like John Schneider. They both gonna want total control. So instead of them holding interviews, wait till you hire a GM, do the interviews with the GM, see the guys that he like, and they secretly might have hired somebody. They might have came to a handshake agreement like, you got the job now. Who the guys do you like? And that's the $1 billion question. Like, how you gonna hire a head coach and get a top GM candidate? Didn't they learn something about that with Jim Caldwell and Bob Quinn? Bob Quinn was hell bent on getting his own guy. People forget that. He gave Jim Caldwell that petty 1-year extension. He didn't want Jim Caldwell. And in reality, Jim Caldwell was a better fit than Matt Patricia. All the guys he drafted for Matt Patricia, they would sit the bench, they wouldn't play, they would struggle. Real talk. All the defensive guys that he picked over, even before Patricia got here, Jared Davis struggled. T. Saber never got on the field. Who else we had? Some of the offensive guys worked out. Jeff Okudah struggled. So, to be honest, the Lions just don't learn from their mistake. Get you a GM, work with him to find a head coach, and then they can assemble a staff. So, that'll just be my stance on the whole situation, is that they got to do better instead of repeating mistakes. Stop repeating the same mistakes. Stop getting a GM and then give him a head coach. No. And if, he want total control, that's going to be he able to decide what happened with Stafford. He able to decide what happened with Darrell Bevel. He able to decide what happened with the whole crew. And full control also means full control to build this team financially. And I'm going to need your support. And I don't think the Lions, they want to do that. And they won't get one of those top guys. They won't. Because you telling me I come into the job, I got to keep Stafford. I got to keep Bevel. Remember they did that with Caldwell. Not with Caldwell, but with Matt Patricia. Oh, you got to keep Jim Bob Cooter. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. Let this man decimate this team, build it from the ground up. People just got in mind that this team is a quick fix. Like, we going to change the spark plugs, just, change the oil, drain the oil, you know what I'm saying? Maybe flush it, change the oil filter, get my course of oil, put it in the car, run that. No, this is a whole total rebuild. You building the car from the ground up. This is not a quick rebuild. This is not we going forward with Stafford as our quarterback and going to sign a new contract. No, he's old. He's a loser. Let's get in here. Let's get my guy. Let's get all my coaches. Let's get the players that I want. Let's run out some of these bad contracts. Let's trade them. Get this cap space together. And let's get it rolling. And I'm interested to see what John Schneider's philosophy truly is. Because maybe what they did in Seattle was more a Pete Carroll Schneider thing. Some of what Schneider wants, some of what Pete Carroll wants. Maybe it'll be interesting to see exactly how good John Schneider is. Now, maybe it's a situation in which Pete Carroll was the better personnel guy. He was better at evaluating. If that's the situation, and John Schneider come here and he don't do good, well, that's going to be the narrative. Oh, Pete Carroll was the real personnel guy. John Schneider wasn't. Now, if John Schneider do good wherever he go, let's say perhaps he go to Detroit. John Schneider do good in Detroit, okay? And then, Pete Carroll don't do so good in Seattle as far as, him and the new GM, or maybe he become the new GM and drafting players and getting personnel, then the narrative going to be John Schneider deserve more of the credit. Now, they both had good success. Then they both going to be, hey, they should have stayed together. It was like Kobe and Shaq. But to be honest, only you know what he think when you get in an interview. But if you want a guy that wants total control, he got to have total control of the personnel. Now, if you got to keep Stafford, a guy like that, no. If I'm going to be handcuffed, I got to keep Darrell Bevel. If I'm going to be handcuffed, I can stay in Seattle and wait till a better job coming open. I go, if I'm going to be handcuffed, I go to Jacksonville. Have number one pick. People got to understand the Lions job is not attractive. The Lions job, as far as the GM and the coach, the Lions job is a job that if you like a challenge, if you want to prove that you're the best, like what's my man said from the Red Sox, when Theo Epstein went to the Chicago Cubs, even though they got rid of him, he proved that he the best GM ever. They had the Cubs win the World Series. Shit, he best ever in my opinion. Forget what the Yankees had, because they got the bigger banks, bigger pockets. But that's what you come into Detroit. If you Colbert or John Schneider, you come into Detroit simply based on I like monumental challenges. And I want to prove that I'm the best. If you want to come here and prove that you're the best, you can win with a shitty owner and a shitty team, then it ain't the job for you. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links, description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, then Facebook, then Instagram. We got a Facebook group as well. No, that's my other channel. My bad. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Sorry for Miles barking. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We go.